Welcome to Dig It, a real estate podcast by Hubbell Realty Company. Well, welcome everyone back to Dig It, a podcast by Hubbell Realty Company. Today we have two very, very special guests, very prominent guests, may I say. So myself, we have Kyle Gamble, our Hubbell president and COO, which I'm very, very thankful for you taking the time out of your busy schedule, because Hubbell has a few things going on. And the president and CEO of the Greater Des Moines Partnership, Tiffany Tauscheck. Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you. This is awesome.
I know. Well, I don't get to bring you guys on very often because you're either covering numerous cities in one day or trying to, get a handle on all of our operations across our 18 divisions. So I'm very thankful that you're taking the time. Let's just start off with kind of what we're gonna dive into today. I mean, all sorts of topics from our Greater Des Moines region to workforce attraction to economic growth and some of the great things that we have on the horizon here, just in our city, but in our state and our region. But let's start off with a little background on what the Greater Des Moines Partnership is, what you do within there, and how you got in your role today.
You got it. So the Greater Des Moines Partnership is essentially a regional economic development and community development organization. So we now represent 12 counties throughout central Iowa. And with that, we have 34 economic development partners who help us drive the region forward through economic growth and vitality. We are a nonprofit, so most people don't think of us as a traditional nonprofit because we're a little different, but we have 400 investors that help fund us so that we can do what we need to do to advance the region, and we represent 7,200 regional business members. So that makes us the second largest regional chamber of commerce in the entire country, which is a big deal when you're looking to get things done, certainly on a state level, but also on a national level.
That's an absolutely huge deal.
Yes, we're very proud of that.
Right.
That's a new stat because we added Marshalltown very recently. So that's what bumped those numbers up to 7,200.
That's wild. And I saw that earlier this year, just right? That's when you announced that.
Very recently.
Well, I love it. And so why, and Kyle, I want you to answer this too. Why does having a nonprofit, an organization like this matter so much to a region who obviously is attempting to grow so quickly and so much?
Well, I'll just share a bit of perspective from even last week where we had site selectors who were visiting us and learning more about our region, what sets us apart. Having one voice that's out there marketing our region on a national and international level helps set us apart, because otherwise, if we had individuals that were out there and spreading the word, it's a little hard to get noticed. So we have power and strength in numbers, and it makes our voices louder, which makes a difference. So size, strength, momentum all matter in terms of economic development.
For sure.
Plus an incredible story. Mm-hmm. Central Iowa, the region has such an amazing infrastructure, incentives, low friction, talented workforce, and it's amazing that this group, the Greater Des Moines Partnership, provides that story to the world. And we need that story being told because there are so many good things happening in Central Iowa and in the region that we need it told over and over again with the same voice. Yeah. And that's what this group does.
Well, and it's so much fun to work with your talented team too, because you really do have just a fantastic, group behind you, putting forth such concerted effort in all of these different areas, whether it's local events or workforce or it's that strategic communications. I mean, there's a lot of things people don't see behind the scenes at the partnership that make it all happen, right?
So you're right. And a big piece of that is storytelling. Yeah. And it's very helpful for us to be able to be out there telling the story, because if we don't tell the story, nobody's going to tell it for us.
Right.
So we really believe in that power of voice and lifting up stories from around the 12 county region and individual wins along the way too, whether it's a win for a city, a win for a county, a win for a business leader or a nonprofit. But one recent win, if I could jump into.
That is what we're here for.
That is what we're here for. So let's hear it.
We were so excited that our team, our communications and marketing team, has really been leaning into national storytelling through earned media placements. And just so far this year, we've already had placements in USA Today, Site Selectors Magazine, and also most recently Newsweek. And it was that Newsweek placement that our team pitched and landed, which I'm so proud of our team.
No easy feat.
That got the attention of some others out of market that are now looking to come into our market. So that is what helps us punch above our weight class. The fact that we're willing to go out there and tell the story and also lure folks in. Once they're here in our region, they're hooked.
Yeah.
And we hear that over and over again too, not just from a business development perspective, but also even talent.
Yeah.
We always say today's tourists are tomorrow's talent. And that's because once you're here and you experience what this great region has to offer, you get it.
Yeah. Well, we were talking earlier today, Kyle and I said, I just recently went to a trip, I won't say where, but they said, okay, so where are you from? And I said, well, Des Moines. I kind of just say Des Moines because I'm from a really small town that no one else has heard of really. And they were like, oh yeah, that's been on our list for a while. Or the way that people are reacting to when you say Iowa or Des Moines or around the Des Moines region is this kind of excitement of, oh yeah, I've heard about it. Or, oh yes, I've had it on a list for whatever reason that might be, where, maybe a handful of years ago or even, a decade or two ago, it was more so, oh, you poor thing, or how's the corn? Or, kind of some of those canned answers where it's just like, okay, well, you don't know what hidden gem is here really. And so
it's a cool place to be.
It is.
If you really think about it, there's so much going on the weekends. There's so much going on downtown. The food scene is incredible. The social scene is very good. The concert scenes are really strong.
Well, what drew, I know you're somewhat of an Iowa native, but what drew you here, but what kept you here?
Well, you can get things done in Central Iowa from a business perspective. And I learned that really early on. There is a willingness in this marketplace. Most of the cities want to see growth. They want to see development. They want to see transactions. They want to help and assist in making things happen. Yeah. And it's other cities, larger cities, it takes much longer to get things done. It's much more intensive. Here, things happen, and they happen quickly, and there is a positive energy and a willingness to grow and work hard to get things done. And that's why I've stayed here. That's why we've been able to do what we've been able to do in such a short period of time.
Well, you both have already mentioned, I feel like this is a natural segue. You've both already mentioned site selectors. So for maybe the audience listening or watching, what do you mean when you say site selection? What does that, what's the goal behind that? But also, what are maybe some of our most compelling attributes when you look at us as a region?
Well, the cost of doing business here is about 14% below the national average. So the fact that, to layer on to what Kyle said, you can get things done here. Yeah. It is an efficient and effective way to do business because it is just more affordable. It's more accessible. When you think about getting to connect with leaders like Kyle and others, you can just pick up the phone and reach out and guarantee you those leaders are going to make time for you. That's just unusual. We hear that over and over again, even from some of our site selectors. So in terms of site selection, these are individuals who are repping, clients all throughout the world, and they're looking for the best place to locate or expand a business. And a lot of times they'll tell us, kind of sheepishly, that their goal really is to rule out options, not to keep options in play. Right. So the longer that we can keep our region in play and not ruled out, the better. And I'll touch on two big projects, and I know Kyle could add a bunch of others, but two big pieces that we're really leaning into that are going to be differentiators for us in terms of helping us reach that next level of economic development and advancing the region. The first is reaching 1 million population. Yeah. We know right now, site selectors will tell us that we are ruled out of some projects because we don't have 1 million population. We are so close. Our CSA, combined statistical area, we're at 940,000 people. We are so close. Within a few years, we're going to get there.
That's achievable.
Right?
Absolutely.
We are. It's so close.
I actually don't know if I realized how close we were, to be honest with the both of you.
Yeah. We are there.
That is very, very
Within
close.
a few years.
And so how does that open the door? I'm going to let you get to number 2, but how does that open the door for us? And in what ways?
Well, it's literally, think of it, check the box.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's another box that's checked.
Yep.
We have many other, we have great utility partners. We have great sites. Right. We have a great business climate. We have a great workforce. We just heard from James Chung last week,
Right.
and he was talking about the educated, skilled workforce that we attract here in our region. We have all of those things. The 1 million population, we are close. We're so close.
So close.
The other piece that we're working on, we're really close on, is what we call Future 435 designation. So this is Highway 565, and getting that stretch of road designated as an interstate also helps us check that box, one more box, to be eligible for additional large, extremely competitive economic development projects.
And that just kind of brings it quite literally full circle.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And in our world, what does that mean?
Logistics, supply chain. Awesome. You couple that with the new airport, and when we show up on these radars, when we are automatically included on those lists, and then you extrapolate further into workforce quality, plus our incentives, combined with our infrastructure, combined with our housing availability, we make a compelling argument to the site selector. They're going to have a tough time eliminating us compared to the competition.
Well, and I love that. And so you both can mention, I mean, are there certain site selectors or certain projects that your eyes are on right now that we can talk about? Now we know a lot of them. We can't go into a lot of details because they're, again, trying to select us. But are there any we can lean
into?
into?
They all have private names like Batman 123.
Correct. They do. Really random
They do.
names.
I know. I'm going to do a
names.
whole episode one of these times on how they name their projects because it is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah.
They're under these covert names,
They are.
keeping their eye and tabs on us at all times. So
We were in the middle of one several years ago, and it was on a covert name. Confidentiality was extremely high. We didn't know who they were until we got on a conference call, and they called us, and their name showed up on the caller ID.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Didn't think of that one.
didn't cover that bait. Well,
That was several years ago. That
Yeah.
was probably 8-9 years ago.
well,
And it turned out to be a transaction in this marketplace.
well, there you go. It all
And
worked out.
while we can't talk about specifics,
Yeah.
I can share that already this year we have 99 qualified leads.
Wow.
So these are leads that our team is out there soliciting, proactively, aggressively chasing after to bring back to our local economic development practitioners and partners. And the more we can get across the finish line, the faster, the better.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that really matters and works in this market, as you know, is speed. We've got to be able to move fast. And because we have such great relationships throughout the region, we're able to move faster.
Yeah.
Robinson was just announced last week. That's a huge win for this region and this market. Big project, 800,000 square feet, manufacturing company.
Yeah.
Going to bring a lot of jobs, going to support a lot of infrastructure work in this market. So big win.
Just within the last couple of weeks, all of the news coming from IEDA, whether it's Robinson, whether it's the workforce housing tax credits, both rurally and urban. I think there were 63 projects awarded this year. I think that's right. And man, it's cool to see all of them come to fruition. But that one specifically on the site selector could be really cool one to see move.
When I talk about incentives, that's what I mean. There is real economic incentives behind these projects. And there's a real desire to help capitalize them to bring them to fruition.
Yeah, I saw in Robinson alone, I think it was from IEDA's release, but 800,000 square feet, capital investment of $75 million and potential to create 100 jobs. So, I mean, that's huge. Yeah. In your guys' opinion,
that doesn't even cover the construction jobs that go into it, all the indirect businesses that are impacted by it. It's a big deal.
What concrete steps should be taken over the next couple of years, 2 to 3 years, to strengthen some of that site selection, that value proposition? I mean, you've probably touched on some of it, but...
Well, I'll touch first related to infrastructure. So we were able to be successful getting through the State House state support for that interstate designation, which is fantastic, and huge thanks to all of our legislators that voted yes on that and to the governor for signing that. Now it's in the hands of Congress. So looking at the infrastructure reauthorization bill and pushing that forward. So we're having conversations. We were just in DC again last week. I'll be back there in 2 more weeks to talk about it.
You get to see the airport all the time and all of its changes and exciting.
And so grateful.
Yeah.
We're so fortunate to have such a great airport, and we have to keep that momentum going with infrastructure projects throughout our region. So that is one piece, is getting the Future 435 project done. The other piece related to our population growth is we have got to keep attracting talent and retaining our talent. And we have numerous initiatives underway to do that. And again, a big piece of that is marketing and storytelling, and helping those that are considering moving to a community like ours to select our community or our region, and also those that are visiting to ensure they have a great experience while they're here. But we have tons of talent programming that I could share with you at some point.
Well, and the beautiful thing about a podcast is that we can link to our show notes. And so a lot of people can go into our show notes and they can click on those and kind of do a deep dive into all of the great partnership things that are out there. But let's segue into workforce attraction and retention a little bit. Obviously, on our side of things, we are a very large growing company at Hubbell, but the skilled trades are a huge portion of what we do. But like you said, one of the priorities, workforce readiness and attraction. What do you think some of the biggest draws to this, to our region are today, and how do we keep expanding those?
In terms of talent attraction?
Talent attraction, yeah.
Quality of life is
quality
huge.
Living, cost of living.
Cost of living.
Yep.
The affordability, accessibility pieces.
Right.
They
Housing
matter.
availability, housing flexibility, wide variety, heavy variation of housing, well located, good schools in this market. As I mentioned, very low friction. You can have a life. It's not terribly expensive relative to our competition, and you can get things done. You can raise a family. You can travel.
Yeah.
You can afford to do things, and you don't spend all day in traffic.
I think we take that for granted.
You do.
Sometimes.
We do.
The fact that
Yes,
some
we
of us
do.
have an 18-minute commute.
Yeah.
22.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
But
22.
you're pretty far out.
I am.
Yeah.
I am pretty fine.
Yeah.
I'm Adair County, and I can get here pretty quickly.
You can get pretty much anywhere in 20,
and it's not
25.
because you're speeding, right? It's
No,
just
I'm
because
following the
we're
laws. I'm obeying
centrally
the laws.
located and easy to get around. And
Yeah.
So I would ditto all of those
Yeah.
that Kyle noted, and I would also share that we did a study to actually look at what talent are looking for.
Okay.
In terms of moving somewhere. And the top 3, and guess what? We do well in all 3, outdoor recreation, amenities, and opportunities.
Okay.
So we have a ton there. Cultural attractions and amenities. We have great offerings there. And then the third, is related to safety.
Yeah.
And this is a safe region.
Right.
Yeah.
So the fact that people are looking for those 3 things, and we have
Right.
all of those 3 things, does help us. And then you look at what we're doing with like Icon Water Trails.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
And Hubbell has been such a huge supporter and investor in that project.
Yep.
That is truly a huge piece of our talent attraction strategy.
Yeah.
Quality of life.
Well, and it ties back to all, to Icon's pillars, right? That's the economic development. That's the workforce
Right.
attraction, retention. It has the quality, the conservation side of things. But yeah, I do think that there are a lot of things, especially for young families. Can you guys talk about too, Tiffany? You have a lot of things that for people who have chosen the state, or maybe who were born here, and I'm like, should I choose? Should I go? Should I stay? I won't sing should I stay or should I go, but. How do some of your projects play into that? Maybe it's like the Des Moines Intern Connection or the Legacy Project, things like that.
Yes, great question. So in terms of some of our talent work, we are really spending a lot of time on, talent attraction and also talent retention. So in terms of upskilling and really leaning into that workforce readiness piece for high school students, we started this new program last year. It's called the Legacy Project, Career Ready Collective. And this is made possible truly because Principal Charity Classic and Salmon's Financial and others decided to invest in it. We get the great role of putting together the curriculum and facilitating the program, but really it's because businesses came together and said, we want to invest in this and let's do it. And that is, again, another differentiator, the fact that we have public-private nonprofit partnerships to drive the work forward. But this program focuses on high school students and getting them ready for what their career could be here in our region. So this last summer, we had 266 high school students from 23 high schools that participated. And at the end of it, 94% said that it was a great experience and that and 2/3 said that their confidence has now increased and that they want to stay here because the programming. A lot of these kids, they've shared that they didn't see themselves having a pathway here in our community. And now that they have additional touch points and understanding of what the options are, they're here, they're ready to stick around. And then also we have our DSM Intern Connection program. This last summer we had over 500 students that participated from over 65 colleges and universities from around the country that were here. So the more that we can invest in those students while they're here in our region, the more likely they are to want to move here full-time or come back when they graduated. 90% that took the survey at the end of that session with all of our interns said they now want to move here. So again, it just shows the work that we all collectively lean into and helping students, whether it's high school or college, see pathways for themselves here, the more likely they are to invest in us and stick around.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I know that's something that, you've talked about too, just that what the quote, the term brain drain.
Don't want to lose them.
How do you keep them? That's just trying to tie into giving them those connections and the people and the opportunities. I think is so important.
I can attest to the intern program. My son just went through it. He's now a junior at a school in Dallas, and he was here over the summer. Went to all of the Greater Des Moines Partnership events.
Thank you.
Ended up at the CEO luncheon at the end where they invite the students that go through the program. Program was very well laid out. He got a lot out of it. Not only did he get a lot out of his internship, but he got a lot out of the program through the partnership and those events. And at the end of the summer, he's like, "Yeah, I could see myself doing this again, 100%." One of the things that he said as he was leaving, he's like, "My dollar goes a long way here versus Dallas," and that's a real comment. I mean, that means a lot when you add that up.
Well, and to have that mindset shift at that age to have seeing that, right?
Yes.
I think a lot of us had to maybe go through some painful sacrifices and times to realize how much that really means. I bet that was a very proud moment for you.
It was good. It was very good. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that the more connections, right, that you can give those younger kids and hands-on too. I know that's a big one for us in skilled trades, is to make sure that they understand, what options are out there on the trade side of things. We're looking at a very aging trade population, so I'm always keeping that in the back of my mind as well. Okay, I want you two to get on your soapbox, because I know you might, to talk about the downtown core. And just the vibrancy and keeping what it means to have a strong and vibrant downtown when it to come drawing in talent in retail and office, but how are we protecting and revitalizing and strengthening our downtown? I know that's a big question.
From my perspective in real estate, there's a lot of repurposing going on. So, for example, the financial center is going through that right now. Ruan 2 is going to become multifamily. We just had an investor purchase the Wells Fargo downtown campus. Has plans to repurpose some of that space, and I've heard hotel, I've heard data center, I've heard multifamily and new office space. So there is capital investment taking place, significant capital investment in repurposing in downtown Des Moines. Now, talk about repurposing, but you also talk about ground-up construction. We have a 33-story, 390-unit tower going in downtown. You don't see that very often in markets like Des Moines happening in that scale. So that's going to be very, very interesting when that comes online in 2027, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, we're so excited about the Tower project and also all of the existing housing options that we have downtown.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to remind folks this is a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Downtown is its own neighborhood, has its own vibe and vibrancy. And we're really pleased that our downtown population daily average is about 70,000 people. That's a lot of lives that we're able to touch on an ongoing basis that are experiencing things downtown, living downtown, working downtown. We also track, and this is year over year, our foot traffic. And we're really pleased to see a continued increase in our foot traffic levels downtown. And this is, growing since things changed with COVID and things changed and evolved. And you know what? So did our downtown.
Yeah.
And our downtown evolution is continuing. We're 4% higher in in foot traffic than we were last year.
Okay.
That's during workday. And then on the weekends, we're 6% above where we were last year.
It's growth.
And it's growth. And we
Right.
have to remain bullish on the importance of our downtown and the role it plays in our entire region's success, not just county, entire region's success. Because a strong downtown helps elevate a strong region, and a strong region has to have a strong downtown, which is why we continue to lean into, and of course, helping with investments downtown, but also vibrancy and events downtown, like our downtown farmers market.
Right.
It's one of the best in the country.
Yeah.
30 to 45,000 people every single Saturday taking
Wow.
up blocks and blocks of our downtown.
entire-
Expanded again this
Yeah.
last year. And this not only helps for those that are looking to experience vibrancy, but it also helps those vendors.
Yeah.
This is their business. This is their livelihood, and
Yep.
giving them that opportunity to vend and sell at our downtown farmers market is a big deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and Kyle, will you touch on, you kind of touched on it, Tiffany, but the neighborhood aspect. Yes, downtown is its own neighborhood, but there are neighborhoods within a neighborhood. And I mean, that's a big part of what we do, whether that's, Bridge District, Gray Station, but
East Village.
East Village, can you talk about, Market District is out there too.
Market District, sure.
Why is it so important for, there to be some of these pockets and neighborhoods within a greater neighborhood in downtown?
Just get some variation, some alternatives. It makes life interesting. If everything was cookie cutter and the same, it wouldn't be as attractive and fun. But when you have the little neighborhoods and diverse kind of feels to downtown, it just makes it more vibrant and more fun.
Yep.
And you can experience a lot in downtown Des Moines in one night. You can go from one side to the other easily.
No traffic, reminder.
Yeah, and experience a wide variety of culture and restaurants and nightlife. And so, I think it's a attractive and vibrant place.
Yeah. And our downtown vision plan, which I know your team was involved with, that we put together. It's the most inclusive, community-driven plan that downtown has ever had. 8,000 people weighed in on what they want to see happen and take place in downtown. And one of the big takeaways, which I still love, is welcoming surprise and delight moments.
Yeah.
So thinking about, to Kyle's point, that you can walk a few blocks and have a different experience in a different pocket of our downtown is part of what makes us so unique and why people want to be here.
Well, so what are you guys doing as leaders? And I know this is maybe a strange question, but I'm always trying to put myself in other people's shoes. Just as leaders, it's a lot to take on. It's a lot to look at. You're not just looking at one facet or one industry. You're trying to take in that bigger picture and again, grow and lift and just enhance the region. So what are you guys doing as leaders to, anticipate and adapt just to the economic trends that are occurring right now? Yes, there are some headwinds, but how do we keep downtown and our region, growing and resilient?
Well, we do investor surveys. So that's one way that we're always listening and learning to what our investors are seeing, feeling, hearing, experiencing.
Yeah.
And the good news is, overall, many of our investors throughout the region, including downtown, are still very optimistic about the market and where things are headed. Another thing I will say as a leader, and I know Kyle does this too, is we listen and surround ourselves with really great team members, because we can only be in one place at one time. So having multiple team members who are in the market, listening, hearing, understanding what's happening and how we can be helpful to advance the region is incredibly important.
Yeah, absolutely.
How we outpace our competition that I've seen over my career is the public-private partnership. And that is continuing today from the soccer stadium that I'm hopeful will come to fruition to other investment in downtown Des Moines or across the region, actually. The other aspect of it that I know the partnership is working incredibly hard on and preaches all the time is regional teamwork. If we work and communicate as a region, it enhances our ability to be effective and attract more talent and attract more business and attract more capital investment.
Yeah. That inclusive growth, I think that's maybe what you guys call it. I think I saw it where it was that inclusive growth, which is a priority of yours, supporting the global talent, people wanting to come here from all over the world, and small business accelerators like Scale DSM or Spark DSM. Is that correct? Okay, I was going to say, I feel like that's thank you. Will you tell us a little bit about that and like how do those types of inclusive programs, how do they help?
Well, we believe it's really important to help those small and emerging businesses continue to scale up. And of course, we want that to happen here.
Yeah.
So we've created some programs and options for those small and new business owners to grow their business. Our Spark DSM Incubator program is something that we piloted a few years ago at the Downtown Farmers Market, had great success. In fact, several of the vendors now have opened up their own bricks and mortar locations, in part because they've been able to scale up and learn from the Spark program and then our Scale program. And so those Spark vendors, they're able to connect with our participants at the farmers market, at World Food and Music Festival, and then other options. And that helps them learn about their product and what they can do better or differently, or if they need to make more or less. So it's just all of that learning opportunity. And then also our Scale DSM program is for those businesses that are maybe a step further along, but really ready to take their business to scale. Yep. So we spend time with them too. The great news is these programs are free to these participants. So we have, again, businesses, public-private partnerships coming together to help support and grow these businesses because there is such strong belief in the future of our small business ecosystem here in the region.
Yep, absolutely. Well, looking into your crystal balls, right? What is the next decade look like? What are some of our region's biggest opportunities that we can harness? Okay, maybe 5 years, but maybe 10 years that we can really do to set ourselves apart?
Well, I think we have to continue to focus on workforce attraction, particularly in the recent or new graduates. We have incredible university systems not too far from the region, Iowa State, Iowa, Drake, Des Moines Area Community College, et cetera, where there is an immense talent. And we have to continue to invest in elite talent in this marketplace because that's a multiplier effect. When you bring elite talent into the market, businesses grow, they thrive, they hire, they invest. So it starts with talent. Energy is very important for this marketplace. Data centers are a big thing for our market. They're a big capital investment. They're a big driver. They are kind of a calling card for our marketplace when we're out doing regional attraction. Hey, XYZ has made a huge investment in this marketplace. Maybe I should take a look at Central Iowa. And then our infrastructure, our logistics, our ability from a supply chain and logistics standpoint to be effective is very, very good.
Yeah.
And we keep focused on that vision. And I love that Kyle also used the word focus, which is what I believe in too. The more we can focus on that vision of economic development and growth, talent development and growth, prepare for 1 million population, which will be here probably before we hit 5 years. Yeah. And also telling the story loud, bold, and broad. We cannot let up. We have to continue to keep the foot on the gas pedal.
100%. 100%. We have as I mentioned at this outset, we have such a great story to tell. Quality of life, the cultural attractions, Icon Water Trails, our trail system, our outdoor activities that are second to none. It is a very compelling story that we have to continue to press on for the next decade plus.
Yeah. In every season, spring, summer,
Yes.
winter, and fall.
100%. Yes.
That's right.
Yep.
All of the seasons, because
That's
that's
right.
you get them all when you come here,
You do.
don't you? Oh, well, I love it. Well, I want to wrap it down because I want to be mindful of both of your times. Is there anything that we didn't touch on before? I want to give you, Tiffany, a little time because you guys have a lot of things coming up. You always have so many events. Is there anything else, though, from an economic standpoint that you guys want to touch on that really you just think that, the audience should know if they aren't familiar with the Greater Des Moines region or maybe Iowa in general?
I think I'm on the board of the partnership. I'm also on the executive committee, and this is my first year being on the board, and I've through 3/4 of the year, and I've seen the work that's going into telling the story about our region, and it is impressive. Tiffany and her team cover a large spectrum and do a great job at it. And they juggle a lot of different things, a lot of different issues. They support some issues and take a stand on others. And I think they are very effective. And we're going to, this Central Iowa Marketplace is really going to benefit from that, from your leadership, from that work over the next decade. And I'm excited to be a part of it and benefit from it and participate in it as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And thanks for being so engaged and giving so freely and graciously of your time, because we know you're,
It's worth
busy
it.
running an organization in addition to this
it's
too.
Important. It's important.
But we believe it's important too. I mean, our team is relatively small for the footprint that we cover,
The
right?
impact,
and
yeah.
the work that we're doing. So we have to continue to partner with other organizations, other leaders to drive the work forward. So I would say my final message is stronger together. And that means we need everybody leaning in, focused on those key visions as we move forward in order to continue to drive economic growth.
Absolutely. Very well said, the both of you. Yes. Well, what are some events that people can look forward to coming up to round out the year? Because, yes, we are headed into winter, late fall and winter, but that doesn't mean that the events and the opportunities to experience our region end, right?
That's right. And embrace winter, right? We want to
Embrace
embrace
it.
winter too.
Put your snowshoes on, put your ski. No, I'm kidding.
But thankfully, we still have some fall to
Yeah,
enjoy first.
absolutely.
So the Farmers Market downtown continues every Saturday through the end of October. So don't miss out on that. We also have the Winter Market, which is coming up in November, and that's indoors, but you can do things outdoors too. And then we also have our Inclusion Summit, which is coming up in October. So just a couple of weeks away. And that's really focused on workforce and making sure that our workplaces are inclusive and inviting and welcoming. And then, of course, the big one that our team really looks forward to every year is the annual dinner. And that will be in January. Haven't announced the speaker yet, but soon to come. And that's really when we certainly share what we've done over the last year together as a region to advance economic growth, but it also really re-engages on that focus on where we're headed in the future. So looking forward to that big event in January as well.
I always love seeing what the year's priorities are going to be. You guys outline that very clearly and strategically, I think, and you put it together in a way that people can relate to. And so I think that, for us, we take a look at that and say, okay, where are the areas that we can, as an organization at Hubbell, how can we lift those up and participate, like you said.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's beautiful. Okay, we're going to wrap it down here with the off the rails, you two. I know, your favorite
Very.
randomly generated question. It's everyone's favorite part, and that's why I was like, well, we're just going to continue to do it. It's fun. Okay, this seems unfair because the off the rails question, which I did not let you handpick, is what is your favorite city? And I just can't wait for Tiffany's answer on this, Kyle, because I don't know what she's going to say.
I don't know.
It's shocking.
Who knows
This is gonna be
what she's
shocking.
going to say? I almost
drama.
made it regenerate, but I thought, no, we'll just let it. We'll let it be.
It's building for sure here.
All right,
I don't know
Tiffany,
if I
what's
can-
your favorite city?
I don't know if I can pick just one, so I'm going to pick a region, and you're going to be shocked to hear that it's the Greater Des Moines region, so 12 counties strong and going, so Greater Des Moines.
I think we've heard a lot about why. And if
I
not,
hope so.
you know, go back and listen again. All right, Kyle, what's your favorite city? And we don't have to play. It doesn't have to be in Iowa. Let's be real.
but it could be.
Yeah.
But it could be.
Yeah. Well,
But it could be.
I follow my kids around. So a couple weeks ago, I was just in Phoenix, and we took a couple day trip up to Sedona, my first time in Sedona, which was incredibly beautiful. We go to Central Florida quite a bit in the Sarasota area. But I always enjoy coming back.
Yeah.
And I'm from Des Moines. My wife and I, have built our careers here. Our families are here. We're both from Des Moines. So Des Moines is my favorite city. It's where we're invested. It's where we have spent our lives. And we will continue to do so for the long term.
I'm with you on that, friend. Whenever I go somewhere, it's always nice. It's fun. It feels like an adventure. And then I come home and I'm just like, yep. The big sigh of relief, that comfort, that kind of like warm hug feeling. That's what it is for me too. I love that.
And we're so glad you're here, both of you.
Back at you.
Yeah,
How's
thank you.
that?
Thank you.
Thank you both so much for joining. I really do appreciate it. I know we could go on and on for another hour. We could deep dive into downtown and all the things, but there are going to be plenty of opportunities to hear from both of you coming up in a varying ways. Oh, see, now I told you I was going to hit the mic and I waited till the last 30 seconds to do it. So thank you both for taking the time out of your
Thanks,
schedules.
Claire.
Very good. Thank you.
Good work.
Dig It, a real estate podcast by Hubbell Realty Company, is produced by Amplify Des Moines. Check us out wherever you get your podcast. Find us on YouTube at Hubbell Realty. Check us out on our website at hubbellrealty.com. And of course, like, subscribe, follow, and share across all social media platforms.